Yeah, welcome back. This is a nice little recipe. This from you got some nice couples here. The first couple is a businessman from Florida, has some nice things to say. But the feature here is the young lady that is living in downtown L.A. I don't think I ever asked why she's living in downtown L.A. And her mother, who lives in Dallas, who was a teacher for a number of years, and she's quite opinionated, as is her daughter. So again, I hope you enjoy this one. And again, looking at my subs, and they keep on dwindling down, which is, of course, a mystery, isn't it? Seemed to be, I was gaining about 6 or so a day, and now it's like I'm losing 6 or so a day for some odd, mysterious reason, which is the continued censorship, of course, of anybody right of center. So the only way we combat this, of course, as I will reiterate, is to please share the videos. We can bypass them that way. And like them if you like this video, and of course share if you care, and support me if you can. You get one of my damn shirts and get me some income in here. So I'll be doing this as long as they allow me to do it, but and as long as I can do it. And you're a big part of that, so help me out there. So enjoy the video, and I shall see you on the streets.
You know, it's funny how even my son's always been a big gun lover. I never was a hunter, but he's a hunter and a big gun lover, and you know, and I bought guns over the years, semi-automatics because of him and stuff like that. But you know, it's makes you realize, man, that the assault on guns is never ending. And, you know, and it's like, you know, I'm not even a big gun lover, but let me tell you what, I'd never give up my guns.
Yeah.
You know?
Because then you start looking at why are they doing this, and it gets worse and worse. You start, oh my God, I'm definitely not getting rid of my guns now, you know.
I wouldn't get rid of my long guns, you know, it's just like I told my son when he says, I said, Anthony, I said, America's not going to give up their guns.
Yeah. Well, now they got an attack on free speech. I mean, that's why I'm doing this question here. Yeah. I haven't had one leftist yet come by and try to defend this.
Yeah.
You know, they just
can't. Well, you know, the thing about it is, it's very, you know, it's like I tell people, you know, it's very few people that you know, it's. Most of us are in the middle somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not extreme right, extreme
right.
You know, my grandfather, he was 91. He died 4 years ago, and he was a submariner, a veteran in World War II, and then he went to Korea and was wounded. And I was never in the military, but I grew up around the military family. Sure. And you know, and he's the one that taught me to vote from the time I first was able to vote and everything, and so on and so forth. And in the last election that he was alive, the second time Obama was running, we always called him Bobby. I said, who are you going to vote for? And he'd always been a staunch Democrat all his life, and I'd voted the other way. And he said, Michael, I'm not voting. And I mean, that's like heresy, okay?
Yeah.
This don't happen.
Right.
But he was the smartest guy I ever knew. He looked at me and he said, when you get to Congress today, he said there ain't a dime's bit of difference between any one of them. He said, Michael, they all in bed together, and it's you know, and it's probably when you look when you look at where we are as being an entrepreneur and a business person, where we were. If that lady right there would have been elected in this country, it would have been over as we knew it. It was done.
Well, we were. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm just out here trying to gauge from the people I talk to. We were close to a revolutionary stage.
Yeah.
I mean, people knew that we were, I mean, especially business guys, knew they were right on that edge. I mean, you know, you couldn't go any further. You couldn't be stretched anymore. It would have been a breaking point.
Right. Well, in the regulatory environment, you know, it's like I said to somebody the other day, I said, you know what, regardless of what happens with Trump, whether you like everything he does and so on and so forth, these regulations that they're undoing and unleashing, that crap right there for people in business, they're like born again. I mean, the regulatory environment says I have 4 or 5 employees and hire no one else. So let me let you business. We'll see you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Hey, nice to meet you.
All right.
Nice talking with you.
How you doing, ladies?
That's so funny.
Oh, thank you for taking it that way.
Love it.
Thank you. Some
Make
people
America great again.
Amen, huh?
Yes.
Amen.
That's
You want to listen to this young lady?
She's pretty conservative. Lives in LA and is conservative.
Really? Do you live in LA?
I do.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's rough.
What part of LA would
Downtown.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very rough. Everyone's very opinionated and
Do you feel like you're on an island there?
Yes, a whole different planet. Different planet.
Well, a tip of the hat to you,
Yeah.
young lady, for doing that. I spoke to another young lady just graduated from Berkeley.
Okay,
She was a
yeah.
member of the Republican.
And they catch hell.
Yeah, and she got attacked by Antifa. She actually made New York Times.
Oh,
A picture of her and all. But she graduated communications, and Fox News is interviewing her. So yeah, you might see her on Fox News.
Yeah, I like your button.
Yeah, it's probably the most popular.
Oh my God.
You know,
Well, they call me all the time asking me who I vote for, and I just unload on them.
And where do you live?
Dallas.
Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just unload on them.
Oh yeah, I had a local TV guys come out the other day
Yeah.
to ask my opinion
Yeah.
on the NFL nailing thing.
It's ridiculous. My daddy did not fight for these people to kneel during a football game.
Yeah.
Or her papa.
Yeah, and then you get the war on free speech.
Yeah.
That's going on there. Are you familiar with Alex Jones and Infowars?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be on the show Thursday at 5.
Oh, cool.
Scheduled to be on the War Room.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
So I'll be in that,
So-
and this is my work right here. You can get a lot of my designs in apparel. So if you really want to walk around and piss liberals off in LA, you can do that.
Yeah.
Because of course, this is a liberal cesspool here.
Yes,
But it's
yeah.
a different brand of kind of liberal cesspool, I think.
Yeah.
You know, here's my thing. I never grew up telling people who I voted for because that was my personal
Yeah.
Yes.
opinion.
You don't talk about it.
And I never, I just never did it. So I've never worn, every once in a while I'll wear something patriotic.
Oh, he said grab the button.
Oh, it said grab it. Whatever. Probably on a green card. But I've never worn political stuff ever. And I teach. I retired from 32 years of teaching.
Tip of the hat.
Thank you. And so I sub a lot because I can sub 12 times a month, and with my retirement check, I'm making more than I did when I was teaching. So, right after the election, we were all told not to talk about it,
Right.
school, blah, 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 blah. So I was in a high school class, and it was probably a couple of days after the election, the kids were like, who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for? And I thought, oh, dear God, I could really cause a riot. So I looked at him and I said, I voted for Jill Stein, which I did not.
Right.
I voted for Jill Stein, and all their mouths dropped wide open, and they were like, well, that's not what we expected you to say. And I was like, okay, so can we go on with what we're doing? And they were just baffled that I would say Jill Stein.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've talked to other teachers out here that, and having to deal with the curriculum that's handed down that you must, and the political correctness, but most of the schools are left-leaning.
Not so much in Texas.
Not so much in Texas, but,
Yeah.
public schools have been. But the ones that, especially in LA, I'm
Yeah,
sure of
yeah.
that,
Ridiculous.
that indeed you were a professional. You kept a distance
Oh,
of that.
absolutely.
But from what I got in a lot of the liberal schools and some of the students I've talked to, the ethics of teaching be damned.
Yes.
They would, the liberals, the teachers would just, they would show, Stephen Colbert excerpts, and you finding that out there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone, all the conservative kids, the conservative kids at my school, just keep our mouths shut because it's our opinion, and we believe what we're going to believe, and you're going to believe what you're going to believe. And all of the liberal kids are shoving it down your throat, and they're calling me all of these names just because I'm from Texas. Yes, I'm a Republican, but my brother is also gay, and I'm not a homophobic, I'm not a racist. My mom's married to a Mexican man. Just because I'm from Texas doesn't mean I'm all of these things, and they just automatically assume. And they're preaching something that they are absolutely hypocritical to. They're preaching openness and forgiveness.
Yeah, and they're
but
not
they are
open and
very judgmental.
Now,
And-
you're familiar with hashtag walk away?
Yes.
I think that what you just reiterated is what's fueling
Yep.
hashtag walk away.
Yep.
As I have talked to former liberals out here that say, hey, look, I also want is a wall, and they're
Yeah.
calling me a racist.
Right.
Exactly,
Well,
yes.
and that's the thing. But my husband's family came over here on a work visa, and they stayed. But they also went through. They paid the money to go through the process to be American citizens.
Right.
And my husband and his two sisters are American citizens,
Right.
and so were their parents. But they also worked in the country, and they did it legally.
Yeah.
And my husband works with Hispanic kids all the time. He's a Hispanic liaison for one of the largest districts in Texas, which is Garland.
Wonderful.
And, he tells kids all the time, and I've worked with Hispanic kids, and it kills me because the kids will say over Christmas vacation, I have to go to Mexico with my family. And I'm like, don't go, you'll lose any hopes of getting your DACA, because DACA is still on the table. They think it's gone. It's still on the table. And, I'm like, is there anyone that you can stay with? Because if they go back to Mexico one time, those DACA kids can't ever apply for U.S. citizenship. And so, but their parents make them go. But I think we've created a situation where we've not followed the laws for so long that we finally are fed up with it.
Yes.
And now we're going to make everybody follow laws. And my family perfectly believes that you follow the rules.
Oh, sure.
And you become
and
US
when you
citizens.
don't follow the rules, you create a sense of entitlement with people
Yes.
that.
Exactly.
And then it's of course burning the people who did it legally.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and and that's the thing too. I got bashed by liberals, friends, kids that I even taught. That when what is your stance on gay and lesbian and blah 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 blah? And I'm like, my response was, it's not my place to judge.
Yes.
If you want to be, and that's what I told my stepson. If you want to be gay, that's your choice. That's your choice in life.
Yeah.
You're an adult. But it's not my place to judge.
Exactly.
Do I agree with your lifestyle? No.
Right. You
Will
don't
I
have to.
accept it? Sure.
Well, tolerate it,
And I got bashed and said, that's not an answer. That's covering up. And no, that's how I feel. I believe that God is the one that makes the
You
judgment.
have to be an activist. You
Yes.
have to be mad.
No.
Yes, and when these gay liberal kids come at me with all of these things about me being Republican and homophobic and I'm just saying, my daddy fought for you to be what you are right now, and the fact that you are disrespecting everything that he stands for, what he fought for you to be right now is insane to me.
And the First Amendment.
And they shut
And
up.
the First Amendment wasn't put there to make you feel comfortable.
No.
It's put there for speech that makes you feel
Absolutely.
uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
There's nothing in the Constitution about your feelings.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Life,
So-
liberty, pursuit of happiness. I don't see anything about
So
feelings.
my friends that just bashed Trump, they're like, do you like Trump? I said, absolutely. It was a better choice than this one. But I also love the things that he's doing.
Yes.
I taught economics, advanced placement economics for years. And I have always said that our trade imbalance is ridiculous and it's only hurting our country. And the more we have a trade imbalance with all these countries, the more we're getting used to all of these cheap crap.
Right.
And it's hard to get rid of the cheap crap when you're used to it. And so, when I taught my economics classes, I had a great sense of what my kids were like. If my kids were very liberal, then I would take the conservative stance, just because I wanted them to argue with me.
Right.
And then if I got a stance that the class was overly conservative, I'd be very liberal in what I would say. And I'd have kids come back to class
Teach your
and go,
children well.
Yes, and I would come, but it's where my parents are. My parents were yellow dog Democrats. Yellow dog Democrats. And trying to explain to my 87 and 90-year-old parents, you are no longer a Democrat, mother, daddy. You're not a Democrat. They still identify with the Democrats, but they're that conservative Democrat.
Yeah, but it's ingrained. When you get to that age and you started out there,
Right.
I happen to live with two 80-year-old Octarians that are dyed-in-the-wool Berkeley graduate
Yeah.
of the whole 9 yards. And I've done. I mean, look at me. I'm beginning to knock down Dragon. I've taken them to see D'Souza films
Yeah.
and given them books to read, and nothing penetrates that.
Nothing.
You can't do it.
The only thing that is going to hit the liberals is when we become a full-fledged socialistic society.
And we see everything
and they
getting fall
can't
apart.
have their swimming pools, and they can't have their SUVs.
That belongs
and
to
they
me,
can't
not to
have-
you.
Right.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's going to change it.
Well, let's hope we never get there. But I don't want to get a. Let's have the success keep on, because I'm running into a lot of liberals going, well, my 401k isn't doing too bad. I guess he ain't too bad.
Exactly, and that's what I tell people when they start complaining about Trump. I'm like, then
Yeah.
you give your little tax, the little tax crumbs that were thrown at you, give it back to the government. Are you going to use that for charity? Why don't you donate that to charity? Well, no, I've got to pay off my credit cards. I'm like,
All right, then.
I guess you're not liberal, are you? You're thinking of yourself first.
Yeah.
And so I just, and my other point too is when Obama was elected, my thought was, okay, we either have him 4 years or 8 years, like a car payment. It's not like a child that you have to keep forever.
Yeah, right.
And so I'm like, it's 4 or 8 years and then he's gone. But these liberals, it's not that way. And I'm looking at him going, and I'm saying the same thing. Okay, well, Trump, it's 4 or 8 years. It's not that bad. I lived through Obama. Oh, you're a racist. I'm like, no, he is a socialist Muslim. And that incense them too. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you not read about these people?
Yeah.
So anyway, I just
I got something for you as economist. This lady stopped by and spoke to me and stood here for an hour and gave a class on how Obama screwed up the economy.
Oh, God.
Professor Iris Mack, Harvard-educated physics mathematician, was
That's
recruited
cool.
by Larry Summers to work on Wall Street. Working with him, she found out what a crook he was, and she exposed him. They blackballed him. She came back and wrote that book, A Wall Street Bailout for
I'll
Main
have to read
Street,
this. Yeah.
for lay people like myself, explaining how they manipulate the market and
Right.
how we can take advantage of the tricks. For you, it'd be a breeze to read.
Yes.
But look into it. I think
I
you'd
will
appreciate it.
Definitely did. Well, I just, I laugh at it. And so many of my kids I'm on Facebook with, and they're talking about circular flow, and they're talking about, doing away a lot of times with and just having everybody pays the same amount according to your income and stuff like that. And, a lot of it works. But what my kids that I taught in economics now understand is that when you give people more money, they're going to spend their money. I mean, my husband and I have benefited from Trump's program. We're putting in a swimming pool. We would not have done that if we weren't doing that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why are you laughing? Okay.
Again, being out here talking to people, I'm talking to small business people that got money to expand, hire more people now. I mean, that's why we got a low unemployment.
Yes. One of the lowest.
Yes, a sustainable growth. I mean, right? I've been going on, and it's what the hell are they complaining about? Peace talks in North Korea. We're talking to Russia. What?
Right.
But-
Well, and the thing with disposable income, when you give Americans $1,000 more a month, or $1,000 more a year, and then you also cut their income taxes where they're not, and you make it simple to pay in, instead of, we're going to get $24,000 tax break instead of $12,000.
Thank you, sir. Here's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton.
Nice.
You like that global warming one?
Well, we've been in global warning since the ice caps melted during the dinosaur period, so hello.
I helped start the Institute for Environmental Alternatives back in '71, so I forgot more about environment. Most people know, and I love it when I get these global warming, so-called experts by here. And it's easy to chop them in two. That's why they don't want to debate.
I'm gonna go.
All right.
See y'all later.
Global warming happened when, global warming happened after the, whatever. I'm not a
Well,
scientist,
here's the
so-
one question I'd like to ask them, and it always shuts them down. Even experts, so-called experts. I say, well, CO2 is the big boogeyman that everybody complains about. That's
Of course, yeah.
That's when they're taxing. So I say, one, currently, and what has it been for a sustainable period of time here now, what is the percentage of CO2 in the air? Because you got to know that to what,
Right.
you know. And two, what would be the perfect level? What's this perfect system? You know, what,
Right.
how did, nobody's getting an answer. One, most 99% of the people don't know that it's 0.04%. So it's a trace element. I mean, and of that 0.04%, 97% of it is naturally occurring.
Right.
So about 3% of the 0.04%, you know, that the best we can measure, is what we might have. It's like a flea fart in the back of a dog.
Right.
So, you know, and then we're trying to, what would be the perfect sustainable level?
Right.
Well, if they say before the Industrial Revolution, well, that'd be bullshit because it's now what it was before the Industrial Revolution.
That's interesting. Well, and you know what? Have you ever been to Venice Beach?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there's a man there that you are the Venice Beach man, but he's
Yeah.
the opposite. He's the F Trump man.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, you can go to Bourbon Street, see a half dozen of
But
them.
I didn't see him, but here's the difference between you and him. When I walked past him and stopped, I said, "Make America Great Again, honey." And I mean, cussing, spewing all kinds of things. And that, I said, that's what I expected you to do. Now, if I walked past you and said, F Trump, you would say, let's have a conversation. So there's the difference that I see between
I might be a little bit more
Trumps.
aggressive in saying that let's have a conversation.
Yes,
But I will
yes.
still be
But
asking
it's
to have a
still an
conversation.
educational
Yeah,
discussion.
oh, exactly.
And it's not a F this and F that.
Well, as an example, about a half hour ago, this black guy comes by, takes a picture, and I said, if you wouldn't mind putting anything, walk by, so I start, oh yeah, but you must be a Democrat then. You're living off of other people's work, right? So, right, you know. So we said a few words back and forth, and I says, all right, intellectual coward, keep on walking. So he comes back at me, you know, and he throws a dollar bill on the ground. Yeah, there's your dollar. He says, man, I'll tell you what, I'd rather have a conversation with you, and I'll let someone else pick up that dollar, right? So he comes, what do you want to talk about? And he gets in my face, and I says, well, let's have it, because I told him we work things out. We don't work it out by you stealing my work or us shouting at one another, right? So I start crying. I says, you know, so where are you from? He goes, Washington, D.C. I said, oh, okay. What do you do there? I said, work. I'm a Marine. I go, well, then we should be getting along. You work for me. And boom, boom, 5 minutes later, we're shaking hands.
Yeah.
It was like, you know.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with me.
Now, do I like him personally? Do I like him as a personal, no, not at all. Mm-hmm. But I love his policies.
Yeah.
And I like that he's no nonsense. He tells it the way it is, and that's the way I am. This one, I've hated her since she came on the political scene.
Oh, yeah.
I have detested the Clintons since they came on the political scene.
Being from, we're so close to Arkansas here, I'm always getting, I'm hearing stories about them.
My parents had one of the largest antique shop chains in Texas, and Mother had a lot of people that came in from Hot Springs that knew them personally and said they are the worst, corrupt, nasty people you'll ever meet.
Never heard of it.
People in Arkansas don't even like them.
But the only thing that Bill Clinton ever said that was true, it's the economy, stupid.
Yes.
And that's one I think that's going to propel Trump, because, again, people can't complain about the money
And
they got
also
in their
the
pocket.
illegals coming over. He was for shutting down the illegal infestation. I will say it just like that.
Yep.
So, anyway, all right. Well,
good luck. God bless you. I'm so happy to meet you.
You
know, the both of you. I mean,
told
you guys.
him he's the Venice Beach.
Yes,
Opposite of the Venice Beach guy. But he doesn't cuss at you. He talks to you.
Well, as long as you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. I mean,
Exactly.
you know.
Keep on keeping on.
Thank you very much. Check out my website.
Of course.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys definitely be on YouTube.
Yeah. We need to beat socialism at all costs.
Amen.